In this question, we have question 8 of the 2017 paper 2. It's on vectors and vector pathways. The first question asks us to express PR in terms of C and D. We're going to first of all leave out the D and the C, and we're going to go back to that, but we're just going to have a look at this. So P, Q, and R. So PR means that it's going from P into the direction of R. So you first have to go from P to Q and Q to R. The reason we have to do this is because we know PQ and QR in terms of C and D, and the question asks us to express PR in terms of C and D. So we have to use PQ and QR. PQ. The arrows have to be in the correct direction because a vector has magnitude and it also has a direction. A scalar just has magnitude, but a vector has magnitude and direction. It's kind of like that joke in Despicable Me, if you've watched the first one. So anyway, we know PQ and D is going in the direction of PQ. So D is going in the direction of PQ. Now, if you have a look, C is going in the direction of RQ. Have a look. The arrow. Now that's going in the opposite direction to QR because we need it to go this way, so we need it to go that way. So if we go the opposite way, then it's QR, but if you change direction but you keep the magnitude, i.e. the size, so the magnitude is the size or the length, so to speak, then it becomes a minus C. So we will write D plus. So this becomes minus C. Note the underline vectors. And we get D minus C. So that one is fairly easy. The only thing is the direction matters, and for the opposite direction you just make the vector a negative, so it becomes negative C is in this direction, positive is in this direction. Just watch. You just want to watch the arrows. Now the second part is 2 marks. It's a lot more complicated. We have to express TV in terms of C and D. We have some information on this one. That TP equals PQ and V is the midpoint of PR. Again, we're going to forget about C and D and think, which pathway do we want to take? So what do you know? So we know that we can go from T to P and we can go P to V in this direction, this way. That would be the easiest way. I suppose you technically could also go TP, PQ, QR, then back up to RV, and the same thing, and you would get the same answer, but that's complicated and it takes a lot more working out than you need to. So B is TV. So TV and the arrow going this way means it's going from T towards V. So TV is TP. That is T going in the direction of P, and P going to V in that direction. We're not told what TP is in terms of C and D, but if you have a look, PQ is equal to D. So PQ is D. Remember to underline vectors. PQ is D. So TP and P, it says TP equals PQ, meaning that the magnitude or the length is the same. So the magnitude or length of TP is the same as this one. But if you have a look, it says the line is extended, and if you have a look, TPQ is a straight line. So the direction of TP is the same as the direction of PQ. So if the direction is the same and the length is the same, both the vectors must be the same. So we then know that TP equals PQ. So we can then do this. So we then have that TP is equal to D. So TP, and just check the direction goes this way. And we also have to go that way. So we're all good. And so that is D. V is the midpoint of PR, meaning that the length of PV is equal to the length of VR, because V splits the line PR in half. Now we know what the vector PR is. So the direction of PV, P going to V, is the same as P going to R. It's the same direction. The magnitude is different. The magnitude is half of the magnitude of PR. So this means that the vector PV equals 1/2 of PR. And this is 1/2 of D minus C. That's 1/2 of D minus C. You want to show all of this. Normally I say that the stuff in purple is just the add-on stuff. But in this case, you actually do want to show this level of detail, including anything I write in purple. I would put down. So TP is equal to D, and PV is 1/2 of D minus C. We just expand the brackets a bit like with algebra. Not much difference. So 1/2 times D, that's 1/2 of D. 1/2 minus, that's minus 1/2 of C. Collecting, we can call these, so to speak, like terms. So 3/2D minus 1/2 C. That's it in its simplest form, and we've got it in terms of C and D. So that would be us done. We want to have a look at the marking scheme. I will just get that up. The first mark is non-negotiable. You either get it or you don't. So this is 1 mark, fairly easy. Now this one is the hard one. The first mark is for finding a valid pathway. So knowing the pathway would be a mark. Between this and all of this in here would be a mark, and the rest of it would be the second mark, like that. So some mistakes that some pupils made are given in section 4. This, because if you have a look, they left PV, sorry, but the point of the question is to find the vector in terms of D and C, but they've left it as PV, and they've left this as RV. So these would lose marks because you're required to find it in terms of D and C, but they haven't. So I hope you found this useful. I will show you this one last time, but thank you for watching and best of luck with the studying.